In today's video, I'm gonna bring you with me. I'm gonna go get a meal, and I'm also gonna take you to the store. We're gonna talk about foods and ways that we can use refeeds to lose body fat. So here's the question that I got that I wanna help you guys understand. And we're gonna go get food, and we're also gonna go to the grocery store. But the question is, I'm curious how to implement refeed days, mainly for a bit of a reprieve the rest of the week. Would you recommend adding one in the early stages of fat loss? My main goal is about 15% body fat down from 35%. Right now, they're at 1,545 calories. So 135 protein, 155 carb, 43 fat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna explain kind of what I would use as a refeed, and I will say this right away. This person is 156 pounds. They're at 1,500 calories. They're already at calories that I consider a refeed is required. 10 times your body weight in calories or anywhere near that, you should be having a 1 day a week refeed. So we're gonna talk about that, but we're gonna go get lunch, and I'm gonna explain how I refeed, and then we're gonna go to the store and talk about some great foods for this. All right, guys, so today, because I didn't have time to prep my meals, which I'm gonna be doing a meal prep video very soon, there's a new place in town called Fresh Kitchen. Very like simple ingredients to order. So I actually got 2 scoops of rice, which was 8 ounces, 2 scoops of chicken, which was 6 ounces, 2 scoops of mushrooms, which was 5 ounces. Now, this person said that their calories were 1,545, 135 protein, 155 carb, 43 fat. For me, to give this person a refeed, I'd keep their protein at 135. I'd probably bring their carbohydrates up to 225, and I'd bring their fats up to about 50, right? So I want to show you what I would do on a day where I'm going to do a refeed. I'd kind of keep some of my meals the same, but on a meal like this, I did double rice, okay? So I put this in the app. The nice thing is you can just plug these into the app and it'll tell you. So this meal here, which I'll show you. Now I'm going to do a meal prep at my house. I'm going to show you guys how I prep all my stuff, but having places like this are very helpful. So this is chicken, mushrooms, and there is 8 ounces of rice underneath. Okay, so the macros on this bowl: 62 protein, 80 carbs, 17 fat. That's a fantastic meal, fantastic ratios. It also smells fantastic. So shout out to Fresh Kitchen. They're new here in Tampa. So yeah, so now I'm going to show you if I wanted to get so this is 80 carbs. On a normal day where I was going to get 40, I would have just doubled it, right? So that's a good way to get some extra carbs with not a lot of extra other things. Rice is one of the great foods. So I'm going to eat this, and then we're going to go into a grocery store, and I'm going to show you some great foods for refeed days so your carbs go up, but your other macros don't.
And I am.
This is Paul's first time inside of Aldi's. He didn't want me to bring this camera in here, so we're trying to stay low-key.
Yeah. It's not like me.
It's not low-key at all.
I'll do what your mom used to do. George. $3.93. They're cheap here.
They have Paul's favorite food. Those that know Paul know that he loves his poppers. He buys them by the box.
These are all car packs, by the way. Wait, ribeyes. They got ribeyes.
Yeah, that is good.
1, 2. All right. Put these on the smoker tonight.
Do you like tuna?
Yeah, I like to.
Look at these. And they're wild caught, dude. All you gotta do is just basically cook them up, chop them up, put them in some rice, put some soy sauce on it.
All right. I need rice. So I didn't get that.
It's way back there. White grain.
Just get a couple. These shrimp were $6. There's no way. Yeah, I might just come here and get like some staples and stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's what I do. I just go to Aldi's, get the staples, and then if I ever need anything.
All right, guys, so I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about the purpose of a refeed, and I'm going to talk about how these foods are going to help that. The purpose of a refeed is to get the benefits of bringing your calories up, right? So a lot of times you'll hear diets use things like cheat days. I don't use that. I like to bring carbohydrates up. Carbohydrates typically get restricted the most, right? Our proteins and our fats are pretty essential, and they're going to stay pretty stable during a fat loss phase. Carbohydrates can get restricted, but carbohydrates are very valuable. Okay, they support our metabolism. Okay, it helps our body produce hormones like T3, T4. So if you don't have carbohydrates in your diet, you're risking some metabolic adaptations that you don't want. You're also risking some performance issues with weights. Okay, resistance training, carbohydrates are the preferred fuel source for our muscles. So if you ever heard somebody say their muscles felt full or flat, this is where it can be adapted. Also, when you've been dieting for a long time, sometimes you just need a psychological, mental reprieve from that part of the process. So what I like to do with my athletes, and you know, I share this with everybody, is bring up carbohydrates 1, 2, sometimes more days per week based on your needs. Now, the issue with introducing more carbohydrates for most people is that you're also going to introduce other things like fats. So what I've got here, there's a new grocery store for me up the street. I just wanted to check it out, called Aldi. And lo and behold, I found a lot of my favorites for refeed days. So if you're eating a typical meal plan where you're kind of eating the same foods every day, the reason I love these foods is because they're easy to include without adding anything but carbohydrates, right? So you could keep your diet exactly the same, and if you wanted, say, an extra 50 grams of carbohydrates, you could have some Cheerios. Now, this has 30 grams of carbs for only 2 grams of fat, right? Or you could cook up some potatoes. Now, this might shock you, but this is pure carbohydrates. 28 grams of carbs, no grams of fat, right? So all of these foods, including the rice has 3 grams of fat for 43 grams of carbs, right? Bananas are pure carbs. Now this is gonna make a lot of people angry. Oh my gosh, you're gonna eat something that's gonna spike your insulin? Yeah, spiking your insulin is anabolic. I don't know why it got this bad rap. People need insulin, okay? It does not prevent fat loss. Well, guess what? A serving of these, 13 pieces, 23 carbs, no fat. Guess what? This is a great way to have a refeed. I sometimes keep these in my gym bag in case I start to bunk out. If you have a few extra grams of fat, this is one of my favorites. I probably have Pop-Tarts most days of the week. For this, 67 grams of carbs for a mere 8 grams of fat, right? And this is my favorite, the s'mores flavor. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is another great one. But the idea here is that these are all carb sources, right? You're going to combine them with your protein, and you're going to combine them with your fats. So you're going to be eating them in your whole meals. But these are great options to just make sure that you're getting a refeed day in. And you can plan it ahead, fit it into your macros. Like I showed you, when I went to the restaurant today, what did I do? I just got 2 scoops of rice. I could have easily gotten 1 scoop of rice and a different vegetable, and it would have been maybe only 40 carbs. But because I did that, I got about, I think it was about 80 carbs. I said 79. So you see how easy it is to bump up carbs without negatively impacting your protein or negatively impacting the fats that you take in. So yeah, using refeed days, especially for the person that asked this question, when your calories get to about 10 times your body weight, meaning this person was around 150 pounds, their calories were around 1,500. Or when your carbohydrates actually get about to where your body weight is. So if you're a 150 pound person and you're taking in 150 grams of carbs or less per day, and you're doing some type of physical activity like resistance training, like a sport, these are going to be very powerful options. There are many other options. These are just some of my personal favorites. So I'm actually going to put these in my house and eat them very soon. Okay. Please continue to ask me great questions, guys. I want to show you the process of losing body fat, adding muscle, and staying lean. That's what the goal is here. And I want to show you guys, you don't have to fear these foods. All right. I'll talk to you tomorrow.